let's talk a little bit about Together. We don't have to make it as formal of a review as we just had with Weapons. Together, Dave Franco, Allison Brie, married in real life, engaged, or I guess boyfriend and girlfriend in this movie together. A movie that really high on Rotten Tomatoes, 90%. I think it had a lot of hype going into it. People are talking about the body horror. Ricky Flex, you saw it Together, correct?
11 o'clock Wednesday night.
11 o'clock Wednesday night. Better late than never, as they say. Did you like Together?
I liked it. I thought it was solid. I mentioned my thoughts a little earlier, but in our weapons review and kind of the differences here. This was definitely more not obsessed, but the premise kind of took over the movie. And for me, again, I'm not really a body horror guy, but that's someone that's loved the substance. I love the substance though. But the substance, that was again the two characters there kind of drove the movie. And then you're like, holy crap, this is a crazy, wacky premise. Here it's like the premise kind of took hold. And I don't know. I just never like was fully bought in. I thought it was fine. It worked. But like at the end, they're going. I'm not spoiling anything. And then they're going and talk. I don't want to spoil anything. But I didn't dig the ending either, and I thought it was supposed to be like a oh my god moment, and that's what they were trying to get you with. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave the theater. I'm not gonna wait for like the end credits or post credits. Like I'm just gonna walk out. So I respect the story. This is big at Sundance. I remember talking about this movie in the most anticipated draft because I was like, there's this movie Together that's getting incredible buzz at Sundance, right? And Dave Franco, Allison Brie, the producers on this, basically the reason this got made. So I respect it. But at the same time, like, was this for me? Maybe not, but it was solid.
I think you're right when you say the premise was the draw of the movie for sure. And I think people talk about the theme of like codependency, being too, I guess, involved with each other, not enough with everybody else, leaning on one person, literal like type of one-to-one here. Gross movie, gross ass movie. And I would say the most scared I've been in a theater this year. This movie. I think the way the movie shot is pretty cool. I think the opening scene with the two dogs, I was shitting my pants. I'm like, this is the scariest thing I could ever imagine. The dogs staring at each other, and then the sounds that you're hearing, like at the beginning of the dogs, I was freaked out from the get go. This was the movie I used my free popcorn at AMC for
Your
my
birthday
birthday.
month.
And I knew that if I watch a horror movie, I do better when I watch horror movies if I eat something. However, when you're watching a movie as gross as this, you don't want to eat that popcorn. You know, I was literally covering my face. I was so disturbed by the images that I saw. I think like the body horror did work, you know. Um, the ending did not for me. I think the ending was jarring and it had me feel sick and it had a very negative message, in my opinion, for the end of this movie on codependency, how to handle it. It was like a horror movie that when you walk out, you're like, that had a negative message to it, you know? And to have that ending and like that final frame and to have people that are husband and wife in real life, like have that frame exist. I don't understand. I don't get how they can make that movie. Like Allison Brie and Dave Franco are actually married, and you can have that image that is forever there in film. That is gross to me. That is so freaking gross. I would be thrown off by it. And then also, like I said, terrifying, horror worked. Also, genuinely pretty funny movie. Like there are some very funny moments after some gruesome events. I think they could have even gone even harder with the gore aspect. And there's one particular scene you see in the trailer. You probably know what I'm talking about in terms of blood and gore, and trying to separate each other. But the performances, Allison Brie, Dave Franco. Dave Franco's not very good. I'm not a huge fan of him. I like
for him.
I like him in comedies. Like he just came off like a whiny sissy in this movie. And I get it, that's what he's trying to be, but I found him more annoying than good. And then Allison Brie, honestly, she does a really good job playing like a bitchy, you know, girlfriend, but the body horror stuff I thought was unbelievable from her. I think what she was doing in terms of like flexibility, in terms of like being drawn to this person, having her body move in unorthodox ways, I think she was the best performer in this movie.
Yeah, this is like what she does, you know, like this type of character she plays in a lot of things, right? I think I Get Hard actually, with Will Ferrell,
I think
crazy.
Community.
Yeah, Community, like she's very good at playing this role, and this was like perfect for her. Dave Franco, he's better when he's bombastic comedies. Like I honestly, I thought he was great in his little cameo in freaking the Seth Rogen show on Apple TV Plus that I
Studio.
really like. The studio, awesome in that. He is unbelievable in that. I'm like, shit, he's an unbelievable comedic actor. So I think this was a little off, but Alison Brie, really good, really good. And also, you said something before. I think this could have gone harder.
That's like
I
in
agree
terms
with
of
you.
gore for sure.
There's a couple scenes where they panned away. I was like, what are we doing here? You have that opening scene that's like, oh, with the dogs, right? And like they
Brutal.
remind you in the classroom with the girl. They remind you of it. And I'm like, oh, we're gonna get some crazy shit here. And honestly, we saw some like squeamy stuff, right? With like the hands together and whatnot, the lips, obviously, from the promo. But like and again, the promo was kind of telling you, get ready for this. And I was like ready for more. And not that I wanted to. So I thought it could have been more.
I feel like every time they say this is the scariest movie of the year, it's never the scariest of the movie of the year. This one, I was pretty terrified just by the premise of it and the thought of it. And I think they could have gone the extra mile and shown it a little bit more. I we're in agreement there. I also think I think a part of this movie that wasn't good is the writing, and I feel like it was super obvious that with this how small the cast was, who was the villain of the movie, and they show a photo of like this character with like their lover, and they ask what happened to them. I'm like, obviously we know what happened. Look at the name of the movie. I just thought like the writing was not effective for this whatsoever. It was predictable. The shock ending, it would just told me like you're not gonna walk out with a set like I said, it's gonna be like a sour taste in your mouth. And they went for like the shocking jaw dropping one, and I kind of just felt gross after.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, "Oh, let's be clever," and I was just like, more like, "I'm just gonna go home." You
I
know,
was shaking my head walking out. I'm like, that's fucked.
I was like I saw it at 11 o'clock, so I walked out of the theater at 1 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm looking forward to see Weapons tomorrow." Like that's honestly what I was thinking. I'm like, Weapons is gonna be better than this.
I don't have much else to say about it. I think it's also like there's a part where when they first how they get this, how they fall under this spell where they're magic where they're drawn to each other. I'm just like, this is dumb. Like like it's like a classic dumb horror movie type of tropes going on. Like he points at the saw. He's like, "Oh, guess I won't be needing this. Hopefully, I won't be needing this." I'm like, "God damn it! Like, don't do that with the
Yeah,
writing."
and like the
It's like,
villain
well, it's
here.
just like that commercial where he's like, "Yeah, well, should we hide over by the shed full of chainsaws?" Like type of thing. I'm like, "God damn it!"
But you are right. Like this movie, the dialogue was so on the nose. You know, terrible foreshadowing, to be honest. Like even the villain here, in like the when he Alison Brie's asking for advice or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, like I teach this history lesson to my students about Plato and how really we should be four people, like two people should be four people, or whatever he was saying." I was like, "What the hell?" So you're the villain. I'm like, you're the reason that they're going to be drawn together.
In terms of like not only gross out, but in terms of like I felt pain watching it when they're the sex scene in this. I knew that like this movie was made for those type of scenes. It's almost like you think of the scenes before you think of the script. Like you think of the chainsaw scene or the saw scene. You think of the sex scene because that goes well with the premise, and then you have the theme of codependency. Then you got to make everything else work. I feel like that's how these type of movies come together. At least it feels like that.
Yeah, I actually think maybe the one of the better scenes in this movie was when it's like recently after they went to the cave or whatever, and they got like the spell. That's not really a spoiler. That's like to get the premise. But Alison Brie's driving to work, and or wherever, and
In the
Dave Franco's
shower.
in the shower, and the camera work, and the music, the intensity. I was like, or the score, I should say. I thought that was maybe the best scene in the movie, and like that's like not really. I don't know. Like for a
Fantastic.
movie, I
That was
didn't
a good
expect
scene.
that.
That was a great scene, and like driving through, and that's like once again like not necessarily how scary it is, but how like painful it looks, you know? And then the other scenes that really work, the Allison Brie when she's first drawn towards Dave Franco, and then he's on the other side of that door, and she is like levitating, from the door because she is like so powerfully driving into it. And then the scene when they're in the hallway and she's doing like a backflip basically, and being pulled towards him. I thought that was unreal too. I think she was, in terms of like, I guess physical performance, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And Dave Franco's not bad. Like he's not a bad actor, I should say.
He's just
Like
better in other
like
capacities.
he's hilarious in Neighbors. He's hilarious in Neighbors 2. He's great in 21 Jump Street. Like he is legit funny. You talked about The Studio. I also saw he's doing this like movie from like the writer of The Fault in Our Stars, and I see the trailer now like a couple times in theaters. I'm like, I don't think you should do this. I just don't think you can do this. I get
He's trying
I
to make the pivot, it seems like.
he's trying to. I'm not exactly buying it. Allison Brie, I believe it because she has some like that bitch factor. She seems more mature. She seems like she can do that compared to Dave Franco. But I don't know. I'm rooting for Dave Franco. I just didn't think this was the movie for him. He played the whiny bitch role pretty good. I'll say that, but annoying. Scores. What do you want to give together?
I'll go 72.
Damn it. I had 73. Literally. I did right. I changed it to 71, but I'll keep the 73. Not a bad movie, but I think overhyped.